Hello, everybody. Um, this is Fireman slash Zozab slash Donda, or whatever other username I kind of put in there. Uh, we're gonna do a quick review of the Fluffy Hat Lower Draft Season 3. Uh, give maybe captains a couple pointers. Who knows? Maybe it helps, maybe it isn't. I'm hoping to make this video short. And not centered on me as much as possible. So we'll see how it goes. Um, dope, dope. Except for that text is still there, so that kind of sucks. But whatever. I'm not editing this. So Claire made a couple of awesome sheets for us. So shout out to Claire. Also shout out to Tree for continuing Fluffy Hat. Shout to Wolf for the cute Marcy picture. Just shout out to everybody for everything. Maybe shout out to me for this video. We'll decide. I'm just taking the fruits of the labor of other people, making a quick little video. So yeah, there's kind of two sheets. This and they're kind of gonna affect kind of both of them. And watch Claire's video for a way better way of telling it. And I'm not gonna repeat what was said. Yada yada. Uh, So this is kind of the draft sheet, and it's kind of nice because Claire added a your cost column, and then the winner and actual cost, and they're going to be updating this constantly. And somehow this eventually autofills, with the formula. Obviously, it's view only for everybody, and it's even going to eventually get to this sheet as well, which is wild. I think that's awesome. So a couple of good things about this sheet. You can just automatically go to their Dota buff. Everybody's Dota buff is BAM right then and there. You have all their names and their Dota buff in their name. You have their MMR. I think MMR min is kind of like their lower end MMR, or maybe what they think. I'm not 100% actually sure. I remember expected cost is Greg's estimated value based only on MMR. This is not, and this number is not based on positional needs. It's not based on if you know people, and some people play kind of above their MMR or below, or how they play in leagues. I'm gonna assume I know nothing about people, but positional need is huge. And when I get into this and go through a couple examples, I don't think Svi, even though highest MMR, is not going to be the highest paid player, most likely. But yeah, you can click people's Dota buffs, and see. You can clearly see I suck right now. I lose a lot of matches. You see a 2-month gap. Just lost another. Maybe I'm not worth a lot. Just one example. I'm not going to go through everybody's Dota buffs, but that's an example. Do your own deep analysis as captains, and just quick shout out to all the captains who are captaining, because apparently a lot of people actually don't want to, especially people who have been playing in this league and know a lot of people. They still choose not to. I wish they did, but you can't force them. Can't force them. So these are 8 guys. Uh, if we go to this draft sheet here, and this is what I really wanted to focus on. This kind of gives a lot of information. This is pause 1, pause 2, pause 3, pause 4, pause 5. I have no idea. I can't extend any of these. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about it. I just can't for some damn reason, but not a big deal. You can kind of see right away it's highest MMR to lowest, just like the other sheet. Everybody's doing their quick little comments. I mentioned pause 1 or 3, or I agree with everything else. Uh, you know, decent creep hitter when I don't get distracted by kills. Guy looks like he likes pause 1 and pause 2. 5's most comfortable. 1 is the least. And you can kind of see some trends right away. You see a bunch of 5's and 4's at the very top of the MMR. You kind of see it spread. Something that a captain should be doing, and maybe if you're a player as well, how many are 5's and 4's? You have a lot of people. I kept 3's in, but you see a lot of you see a decently amount of high MMR players. You see some a lower MMR players as well that want to play this role. So I don't think finding a carry is going to be hard at all. And this is why I'm like Spee. He's a 5 as a carry, and he's the highest MMR. So you most likely want this player to be a core, and it's their best core. So you really want to pick it for him. Go to mid right away. We're just gonna cut to this, and this is why I do think that if you're captain and you're doing your costs, we have two mids that are a 5 and lower right now. Two mids. This guy only wants to play mid. So if you pick London, X only play mid. I think position 4 is their best, but they only want to play mid, and usually you pick people what they kind of want to play. So London could be expensive, but look at this. You exactly have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people wanting to be mid at a 4 or 5 level. This is why I think Glump, Godlike Matt, and September, and Sleazy at a point. The these guys are going to be worth a lot. Like if we look at their um, dollar amount, which with their calculation everything, and Ladalads is one of the lower MMRs, so he's at 570, Sacred's at 410. Mid is gonna be a bidding zone, and I'm gonna be straight. If these guys aren't paying like if you're not paying at least, I think probably uh 300 maybe for these guys, especially these top two. I think you're nuts. There's no other. The next closest mid is 2,450. Like in theory, he could be the third best. Sleazy could be the fourth best. London not looking that bad, honestly. When you look at this, the MMR average is like 1,800 or something. You look at this and you're like, oh my god, there is like almost no mids in this lower division. Like this is going to be extremely crucial. So if you are a captain, like these two captains right here, I guess I'm a 3. I don't pick me mid ever, please. But do you start looking at 3s in the mid lane? You still have to fill out a team and everything, and maybe you try to get a cheaper option like uh London as mid, saving your money elsewhere. But I'm just saying, if you want the best of the best of the mid, and why I'm saying that when I look at this 247 for Spee, I don't think Spee is going to be the most expensive. Glump and Godlike Matt are my, if they're not the most expensive players, I don't know what the lower draft captains are doing. Like they just cost too much. They're just going to cost a lot. But then you have literally the best or second best mid that, and with their MMR difference, assuming they've been playing mid well, you expect them to be able to almost carry your team by winning mid every game. So you're gonna have to. So if you don't get one of those two mid laners, you look towards filling out in other areas. But those two guys, I'm calling it today most expensive, or they should be. I was looking at offlaners, a lot of offlaners, 4 and 5. Uh, you see Glump there again. Like Glump can play also like any of the 3 cores. He's down. Godlike Matt, the other guy that is also one of the mids. He's most comfortable in off lane. So if you don't get an off laner, you get another mid laner. You can bring him to his most comfortable role. But I fully expect these two to be mids, most likely, just by the lack of mid laners. But there's lots of off laners. I'm an off laner. Mikey Mike, you definitely see a solid list here, very similar MMRs. I'm not 2,930 right now, guys. There's just no way my gameplay. But this is a pretty good list. Like if any offlaners might end up being cheap only because I just think these guys have to be mids. I think offlane is an abundant role, and who cares what offlaner you get? You get me, you get Mikey, you get Vitruvius. I think offlaners might not have to spend a lot of money for them. I think offlaners you don't have to spend a lot for them, which will be really good. Uh, looks like we have to go one more. So Spee, most likely highest MMR player, could still go for a lot only because they do want to play carry, and I just kind of showed you quickly there. So they might still go for a decent amount, but I think mid is you still have a wide range of carries. Some of these guys that are threes here might end up being a carry. You might see even Doughboy possibly getting carry. You never know. Doughboy has a five on position four. So you're definitely going to have to open up to the threes and realize, okay, maybe a couple of these guys are shifting to mid. Even September most likely will be a mid player. So it's so tough. The core roles, who knows? I just don't expect any team to probably get any you're not going to get two of them. So if you go after speed, you're going for the hard carry and hoping he can do a lot. But you still have like Luth, that's there, and Devere is, that are similar to this guy, where you only have two in the mid lane. It's carry probably is going to be expensive. It's probably going to be mid laners at the top, most expensive. Then carries off lane is just wide open for kind of anybody to end up being one. A lot of pause fours, a ridiculous amount. A lot of these guys at the top, though, uh, you're not going to be picking as a pause four. It tends to happen in these leagues. Cores are the higher MMR players. Not always. I played Fluffy Hat season one, and the lowest MMR player that was on the team ended up actually being the carry player. But it, it can happen. But there's such an abundance of pause fours that you might end up with the higher pause four. You might end up with the lower. Uh, these guys just aren't playing forward. There's just almost no way, unless if the players that end up being left are pause one players and off four players. And a pause four can 100% do a lot, but with the rotations, especially with pointing out like the mids, if you don't have one of the best mids and you have a pause four on the enemy team that's really good, he might actually be able to influence that mid lane so much uh, that how do I want to say this? That mid laner is just gonna lose because the mid laner doesn't even have that skill or notice anything. So lots of pause fours here. I expect this role to be near the end that people start getting one, and I don't think people are gonna be too worried about getting a pause four if I'm a captain. I think getting a pause four will be extremely easy. Pause fives, you know, a decent amount of pause fives. A lot of these guys saying their comfort level, you can already see. Uh, like Sinister might go for a bit, just being one of the best pause fives out there, especially if you had kind of have a weaker pause one. That pause five, if he can set up that lane really well, that could be some value, especially if you end up going for one of the more expensive mids. Maybe picking up Sinister to help out that lower MMR carry could be a strategy, or a Hawks. There's so many ways you can build a team, but we have a decent amount of pause fives here as well. If you open it up to threes, you just get a longer list, though quite a few of these end up being players I'll remention, most likely cores. So a lot's going to be dependent on what you are after. Do you want that strong? Do you want one of the strongest mids and have like weak area everywhere else? Do you want to have one of the weaker mids, maybe this one of the strongest carries, or do you want strong in everything but like mid and carry? Like there's a lot of multiple ways you can build your team. There's just a lot of ways. So not that I can't save it or anything, but I wonder if I can do this. Give me how long is this video? 16 minutes. God darn, that is long. I'll just kind of go very fast here. Quickly mention if I think a player is going to be higher or lower. I wonder if I can screenshot this. Do 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 do. Okay. Okay, that's what we're gonna try to do last. This is just gonna be really quickly. I'm gonna do my darndest to try to decide where I kind of think these guys are gonna go. Cost more or cost less. Red is gonna be less. Green will be more. Get that out of there, guys. So, oh, that's a lot of tabs. That is not the one I want. Okay, so speed I think is gonna be lower. I just think there's a lot of pause one players. So I'm gonna put red for Spee, saying he's gonna cost less, but who knows? I'm not a captain. This is what I would do for drafting. So Glump and Godlike Matt definitely gonna be more. Glump, Godlike Matt, September, I think are all gonna be costing more. Deveris, he probably will. I can see him costing more. I can even see Luth costing more. I think I'm gonna cost less. I just think that I haven't played in 2 months and I very rusty. I hope. Though I could see people just paying more for me. If someone pays 200 for me, I think my team's lost. Sinister. This is tough. I think Sinister is gonna be a lot lower. I don't think. You know what? Yeah, Sinister is definitely going to be lower. I think Sinister, where 5 and 4, there's so many of them. I don't think you have to spend 200 on the player. Also, I'm changing the Spee. I think Spee's good enough to be green, but it's going to be like around 247, and this player is going to cost the most. Glump or Godlike Matt, they're going to be 1 and 2 in cost. This guy probably actually does end up being higher. I'm changing that number, but he's not going to be the most expensive expected cost. I think he might end up being like the fifth most expensive player or sixth. I do not think he's going to be number one. Um, does this player really cost zero? Are we just spending all our money? Is this a meme? I don't think anybody wants. I don't know. We'll play pause for 5. It's tough to say. Like lowest MMR. Like technically, you don't have to spend any money on the player. I've seen the person around in the Discord. It's really tough. Uh, who is my next? So I got Hawks and Drizzy. They're expected at 180. And see, I don't know how people are gonna exactly draft because if they draft like me, I have I have an idea, but I'm not even drafting, so it's tough for me to say. Hawks and Drizzy both pause fours. Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna say lower. I'm gonna say Hawks and Drizzy will end up being lower. I'm gonna say Mikey. He seems like one of the better offlaners that you can pick. So I'm gonna say he's gonna go up because I think if someone values the offlane position a lot, maybe loses out on getting one of the mids, maybe can get like Mikey kind of cheap enough as the offlaner, and maybe pick a similar strength carry so that like they'll have like a good good carry, good offlaner, get whoever's pos 4 or 5, and then just kind of have that weak mid laner, but have 2 strong cores. And that could be the way to go. Davy Jr. Oh, he's an offlaner. He might be good. Slizzy probably goes up more. Oh, I can see Slizzy getting a higher bid than like Davy Jr. for example. Davy Jr. though, his flexibility is very interesting. It might also give him some extra draft prowess. So I'm gonna give these guys both greens. I think that they could be more. I think these are really value players. Supra is 3 everything. Do I dare? Do I dare click this? Oh, did I just copy the Dota buff? Yikes. Crusader 4. Been playing a lot of support. Seems to be 50-50 on support. But a lot of support lately. I think this player is gonna go for less than. I think maybe if they were a core, I could see being more, but I think they get a red. Jack of all trades, master of none. Architect. I don't know how to say that, man. He's a mid laner. He could go for more. Him, London. Norman, I think, might go for less. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna go less. You're gonna go more. You're gonna go more. Less. This is interesting. Another offlaner. Less, more. It's interesting. Like I said, there is a lot of offlaners. A lot of these positions, though, are going to be a carry and mid up here just because of a lack of available selection. I think these guys might both end up being less. It's actually so tough to say because it can go either way. I feel like if I have another color, like a brown color, like right here, like even. I think these guys are both gonna go around 100. Oh shit! Oh shit! 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 I screwed up. Screwed up in my little paint. I wanted to put yeah, Roxy ends up being less. Thank God. Thank God. Papa, I think is gonna go for less, as well as Geestinine. I think when you show threes like this, you're not helping anybody, unless if you're saying I'll just play anything. Looks like an support player, kind of very new to the game. This player, honestly, if the player's serious about playing games, could be really good. Could really be really good. Could really teach this player a lot. Yeah, so this Penguin player could actually go higher just by the fact that if you have like higher MMR player trying to help out Penguin, especially the coach, and don't forget about the coach. This could be huge. Like this player could get coached into like some 2.5 MMR player over a month. We don't know where this player is going to land at all. And this player might go for more. I'm going to say more. I think I actually value that. I think this player is definitely a green. I think, you know what, this player could go for more. I like red for this guy, red for this guy. And I'll just quickly say I might do another video after just to see if I was right or wrong on some of my predictions. It'd be really fun to see. Matty Boy, he plays off lane. I think this is tough. I think lower. I think lower for this is tough. Like he only play. He's like a 3 and 4 guy. And my model of guessing prices are basing off that everybody's spent already so much over here that people won't have the money for this. I'll also quickly add, if you can shave a few dollars off when you buy a couple players, you can essentially pick who you want down here. So if you know them, or you know what, you see that they're the highest MMR in that position, you can outbid anybody just for that one guy. It's very huge to have money left over. I'm gonna say Maddie's gonna be lower. Tannel will be lower. Uh, Shy LaBeef, probably lower. No, I don't want to have everybody lower, but I think Matty Boy might be high, and then the next three guys being kind of low. How much are they saying that we'll pay for them? Yeah, no, no, no. I'm not paying 67 for Matty Boy. I don't even have 67 at this stage. Gonna go like this. We're crossing out all these guys. I'm gonna say green. Though if it is 0, it could also be last player might not get bid on. So we'll put a little brown there. I think green as well. Green. We'll say these guys are so low in price, like only 16 when you're 280 below. Like, is that really like this player? Like, people could have like 2025 left, so that's why I don't think Carp will get paid 41, but I can see Doughboy getting it. So yeah, this is kind of, I don't know. I don't know if this video is good or instructive. I think the most I'll just go back to the very beginning and just quickly say, check out your positions. Drafting strategy. I strongly encourage, like Claire did, to go over here, write down what you think the costs are going to be for everybody. Who do you want? Maybe color code and be like, I really want. When I captained my one fluffy hat draft, I was like, I want one of these 3 players to be my mid player. Uh, Princess. was one of the mid players I wanted. Adam was another. So I got I got one of them, and I had like three mids I wanted. I had like five offlaners I wanted. I got one. I had like a list of 10 supports I wanted, so I wasn't too worried about that. So you have to really think, okay, who can I realistically get? How much do I want to pay for them? Can I afford them? Remember, these guys, look how like little money they have. Oh, this like these captains have very low amount. Lad of Lads has 570 being the lowest, but looking at everybody else, Sacred, for example, one of the higher MMR captains, 410. Not a lot. And as I said, going after those mids are going to cost 300 or more. Sacred probably isn't going to be in the running for those mids. Looking for a cheaper mid, maybe trying to fill in another a core rule cheaper. It's going to be very interesting. I think the captains have a fair amount of money allotted based on their MMRs. And I believe there's a lot of options, and I don't think just because you get the best mid means you win, just because everybody else wants that best mid. You have to decide what is your absolute most you're going to be spending on some of these top guys, 2000 and higher MMR, and you still have to fill your roster with everybody else. So yeah, that this is my quick little video. I hope it was somewhat useful for people. The Fluffy Hat Lower Draft Season 3. I'm excited for it. It's happening this Wednesday, December 15th, 2021. Be there or be square. Better than upper bracket, and it's not even close. Thank you for watching. Fireman out.